Okay.
Yeah.
Hello. Good evening, student. Good evening, guys. Hello.
Very good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good. One
Good
second.
evening,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Oh, one second. What we discussed, I think, in last session. Any idea? I think we started error handler, right? Okay.
Yeah.
On error handling.
Yes. Yeah. I think we've seen one error scope, right? Okay.
Yeah.
What is a error in Mule?
Something that halts the normal execution of flow.
Yeah, no. So generally, what we call it as a runtime.
Runtime
Okay.
error.
So runtime error, generally we can treat it as a errors. So in Java point of view, these we can call it as a exceptions. What happened when any error rises? An error occurs.
Normal execution stops.
So occurred. There are two things going to happen. The first one is the program
Stops.
or the flow execution stops abnormally. Okay. The second one is
The error object is going to create.
so it is automatically. So whenever it stops execution, it is automatically creating an error object. That is the second thing. After that one, what is the third step? It is automatically looking into the
Error handling.
Error handler code.
is there 1 second. Is there any error handler is there? Then it start executing of this one. If there is no error handler is there, then
Default
Default error handler comes into picture.
no error handler. Then all errors will be handled by default error handlers. So at the interview point of view, when someone asks the question, what is error handling in the Mule? So you need to explain these 4 steps. Just remember. Okay. So this is the normal one. So far. So what are the different error handlers? So we can write here handlers. So the first one is
Error.
no. The first one is always we can start with the default error handler. So after this one, we can able to use the different error scopes inside of the error handler. That is on error, propagate, and the third next one is on error.
Continue.
So continue. So what is on error propagate? Always returns.
Failure.
False failures.
So always returns, or we can call it as a rethrows.
500.
So there is failure. So generally it is the 500 to whom?
Source.
User.
So the source of the component or flow. Okay. So this is the point you need to remember it. And on error continue.
Red in, green out.
Always
Return true.
returns
Success. 200.
or rethrows something. Success, that is 200. Okay. So this interview point of view, this is the most important. What is the difference between on error propagate and on error continue? On error propagate always returns the 500 failures, and on error continue always return the 200. Okay. So now we are going to see the simple examples here. Error handlers. Let's see it. And you can see this is the previous example. So for example, 1 second. Okay. So previously we seen simple, we are trying to perform an invalid operation just like 1/0. Definitely this component raises an error. 1 second, it is not populating. Okay. Okay, 1 by 0, it is always written, say, at the time of during the execution, it raises an error. Whatever the errors are there, it is automatically comes here. There is only one error propagate is there. So inside of this one, I written the custom code and everything like this one. So for example, here instead of on error propagate, let me first execute this one more time. Then we will see what is on error propagate. I'm executing this one. Meanwhile, we can open the Postman. Okay. What is our endpoint name? I
Test.
think the test that is there. Yeah, here it is. Okay. So far, how many classes we are completed, guys? Any have counted that classes, number of classes?
No, not counted.
Okay, number of videos. Okay, no problem. You can see. So I'm hitting this one. Definitely, it is getting. You can see what is the error code I'm getting here.
500.
500. That means the 500 always returns the failure one, right?
Yes.
So now you can see here instead of on error propagate, I am placing the on error continue. Let's see what happens. On error continue, I am placing whatever the transformation I am placing here. Then I remove this on error propagate and let's save it. Let's try to execute it. Let's see. It's executing. Then you can see. Here you can see what the status code I am getting.
200.
So previously here, what status code I am getting?
500.
That means how it is changed the failure one as a success one means by using the on error continue. Generally here we are not going to use on error continue like this one. At the process level error handler, we are going to use on error continue. But just remember, on error continue always returns
Success, 200.
success. On error propagate,
Failure.
500, failure.
failure one. Okay, so what happens, what is the meaning of this on error continue? Something like this one. Now you can see I am placing the logger here. Now we can go to the basics. For example, here I am using the end of the flow. Okay, now you can see, so here there is on error continue is there. Then what happens, you can see there's this component, we got the error. So definitely it is stop the program execution at this point and start executing of on error continue, right? Hello.
Yes.
Then so after executing of this on error continue, we can able to execute this logger or not,
I think no.
right? So that is my use case. Let me execute this one first. We will write it. Anyway, all of understand what my question is? So you are executing the some error handling inside of this one. So, but after executing of this on error continue, we can able to go to the next component or not. That means we are executing this one. At the execution of this one, definitely we got the error. Then we can come here. After executing of this one, it is throwing the 200 to the my source, right?
Right.
Then we can able to execute this component or not. So we need to inspect this one. Okay, let me execute this one. Save the program. I think go here. Let's wait for the debugging. So go to Postman and we can send it. Now you can see we are getting the 200. Then we go here inside of the mule. You can see, is there anything is there?
No.
So that, but they're asking the scenario like this one. So even though this transformation got failed, I want to continue my flow. You got my requirement?
Mhm.
So is it possible here?
It's not
No.
showing this.
Right? So that how we can achieve this one means that we can achieve the same scenario at the process level error handling. Okay, now why I'm explaining here means, so whenever this particular component got failed, so we want to continue the remaining process. In those situations only we need to use honor continue. 100% we can we need to use this honor continue at the process level only. What is a process level handling? Tomorrow you can understand, but you remember it. Whenever we need to continue, even though that component failing, I want to continue this one, then in those situations we need to use honor continue. So in this example, just remember honor continue always returns 200, honor propagate always returns 500. Okay, so this is the one, just I am removing it. For example, I am writing some component like this one. What I am going to do is I am going to perform the file read operation. Okay, so I can select one particular file inside of the D drive. Data is there. So here the sales data. So the simple one data file is open. I'm done. I'm performing the transformation here. Converting entire data is in the form of JSON. Okay, so this is the simple operation I'm going to perform it. So now you can see inside, first we are going to see the success one. 10 by 2 is there here. So this is the success scenario. So there is no errors are there, right? First we will go for the success, then we can see how we can able to handle the errors, different types of errors, how we are going to handle it. If that file is available, then it is automatically read the data and everything, right? Okay, it's a deployed, go to send. You can see whatever data is inside of the file, it is successfully performed the read operation. Now you can see, for example, here I am written 10 by 0, right? So definitely this component got failed. Then how we can handle these errors? There is no error handler is there. So we need to write error handler, right? So we need to use an on error propagate here, and we are placing here, and here you are written the message like this one. Previously, how we are written the message? So you can simply return the message. What is the message? Invalid. Otherwise error inside of logic something. Okay, so whenever any error rises, automatically this error comes out the picture. But unfortunately, you can see there is another component is there, read file. For example, you try to read the file, that file is not existed inside of your drive. Then this component is also got failed, right?
Yes.
Then how we can able to handle these situations? So this is the not the related the logic error. So when this file component got failed, then I want to print the message like this one. So there is a error inside of the file component or file connector. I want to display the message like this one. So by using the single propagate on error propagate, is it possible to handle the multiple errors? Is it possible?
No.
That's so important. So we can able to write different on error propagate depending on the different type of errors. So you can see this on error propagate handles the something. For example, you want to handle the only file related errors, right?
Yes.
So what you going to do? You can simply add one more on error propagate here, and you are seeing so I am placing the one more transformation here. Here I am writing like this one. So what is the one here? I want to write my logic like this one. So the file not found, otherwise error in something. First we will see this one, file connector, and I want to display the entire message type description. So how we can get the description of an error?
Error description.
So everything it is available inside of the object error dot
Description.
so description. Okay, let's see. So but here we need to map it, right? So this entire, there are two on error propagate is there. First is related to your normal one, second is related to your particular one, right? Now you can see I'm selecting the second on-error propagate. So this is the one. Now you can see there is a one particular thing you can able to see. What is this one?
Settings.
Settings under what is it? Type.
Type.
So here we can able to map the different errors. You can see there is a search button is available. You can simply click on this one. Now you can see it is automatically displaying the all the available errors inside of your flow. Okay, so you are using the file connector, then file related errors are showing. So if you are using the any database connector, then database related errors it is showing. So what is your intention? You need to check this on-error propagate only related to the file. Then we need to select all those things. Okay, that's it. Now you can see there is change is coming. So this on-error propagate only handles file related errors. Okay, for example, this is the one I want to handle only expression errors. On-error propagate. How we can change this one? We can simply select this one, go to the type. Here you can click on search button. Here we need to select only expression error. That's it. You can see. Okay, you guys are understand. So
Yes.
so we can create the different on-error propagate scopes for handling the different types of errors. So everything it is available, we can need to select it. That's it. Okay, let me check this one. For example, we can go for the first 10/0. Okay, then here also. Okay, first we can go with the 10/0. Then we are going to see whether they are propagating this error or this error. Okay, I'm hitting it. You can see 10. Oh, 1 second, guys. Is it in the form of Java? That's it. Control S. Let me wait for some time. Then we can hit this one. Now you can see the error inside of the logic 1/0. Now you can see I changed this one. So this is the normal one 10/2. I saved this one. Let's hit it. Definitely this got passed, and when we executing of this one, we are getting error. Now you can see this time which error it. Oh,
Yes.
it's a JSON only. We change here. Okay. Now we can hit it. You can see. So while we're reading the file, that file is not existed, but you can see you are try to that reading that file, it is automatically throwing an error. That error is handled by the second on-error propagate, and whatever the custom message you are written, that is coming here. And the second, you can see what is the description, whatever the file you are trying to access, that file is not available. So this is the way we can able to write. We can able to write multiple on-error propagate scopes. Okay, for example, other than any error comes into the picture, then what happens? So one is handled the expression error, one is handled for the data, file expression. For example, there is one more component is there, that is the database read operation. Okay, I am putting the database read here. Let's check it. For this one, I'm not handling any error, sir. Let's check it whether we can go for this MySQL or Oracle. Which one we are?
Oracle.
Add local file, browse it, downloads OJDBC, then click on OK. Host is the local host. The Mule,
Mule demo.
and it is the Mule demo. Instance is Axie,
Yes.
the test connection. Yeah, test connection is successful. Then click on OK. Here I write in command. Select star from This table is not there. Okay, but I'm trying to access the data from that table. Let's check it. What is this one? We need to add it transformation. Whatever data is coming out of this one. JSON, and it is the payload. Okay, then we can save. Now you can observe it. So we try to access the file component here, and that file is not available. Definitely it is throws an error. Okay, so if it's successfully completed, then we can go for the database. If the database table is available, we can get it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to simulate the success scenario. I change the name of that file. You can see sales data is there, right? Now I'm changing this file to sales data 1. I think. Okay, rename it. Okay, then let's save the program. Now we can see I'm hitting it. You can see I'm still it is getting the data, right? What is this data? This data is from this data is from the file. But you can see what is the status you are getting.
500.
So why I'm getting this data and this error? Both are not matched, right?
Yes.
So how we can, that means you can see, so here you are handling only 2 errors. What are those 2 errors? One is for the expression error, one is for the file related error. But you try to access the data table that is not existed. That's why this component is throwing an error. But for to handling of this error, there is no error scope is there. Then who can take care of that error? Default error handler. And the first point. The second point is you can see the end of the flow, whatever the payload is there, that payload is you are returning at the time of the error response, right?
Yes.
Right? That's why it is showing the data of your file component. Okay. Now, what is your requirement is you can see if there is no error handler is there, it is automatically handled by the default error handler. But here, what happens? So it is automatically displaying the whatever the payload is there something. So to avoid these kind of scenarios, we need to add one more error handler and error propagate. I am placing here. So here you can see I'm adding the transformation. So here I'm giving,
So
okay, here I'm displaying the message. Whatever error is coming. So how we can get it? Error dot
description.
first we need to display the error description or it is description. Okay. So I want to display and like this one. You can see here I'm not setting any error type. You observe why I'm not setting any error? Because you can see whatever the order is important here. So first order propagate handle the expression error. If there is no expression errors are there, then we can go to the second one. The second order propagate handles the only file related one. So inside of this one is there no error matching is there, then where it is goes? The last one. That means so you are handling only expression error, file errors. Apart from any errors are coming, which scope is executed? Which one is executed?
Third one.
Third one. That means this is acted as your default error handler. Got it?
Okay.
Okay. So why I'm placing this one, you can see now you can understand the same example I'm trying to execute this time. So whatever order you are maintaining, that order it is executed. Now you can see the same thing. I'm sending this one. Now you can see. So whatever error is there automatically that is it is displaying here. Got it?
Yes.
So how it is one? It is automatically following the order. First you can see. So there is any error occurs inside of your flow. First it can stop the execution and it is identifying. So is there any proper match is available for the first one? proper match is nothing but what is the error type. Okay, here what the error it is raising? It is raising the database error. First it is checking, so what type of expression it is taking. So it is taking the only expression error, but I am having the database error, so it is not a proper match. Then we can go to the second one. The second is handles only file related one, so this is also not matched. Then we can go to third one. Third one, there is no type is there. That means any error handler can be used by this one. So it is automatically executed. So the same order it is following. First one got failed, then we can go to second one. Second got is failed, then we can go third one. Third one is also failed. Then who can take care of it?
Default.
Default error handler.
So that is the one. So this is the your interview question and your certification question also. So there is no proper error on error propagator, on error continuous scope is not available. Then who can handle your errors? Means mule default error handler. Okay. So how we can handle the specific errors?
By mapping the
Specifying the type.
So we can specify the on error propagate scope. Inside of this one, there is a type is there. The type that we can able to select it. Okay. For example, my intention is here. I want to handle only database related one for this on error propagate. How we can click? Can simply click on this one. Go to the type. Here you can click on the search button. You can see it is automatically handles all the errors here. So we need to select here.
all DB limited.
Okay. So whatever the DB is there, you can say now you can understand now what is the intention of this namespace. DB, file. By seeing this namespace, you can understand. So what kind of error, which character is causes this error. Okay. So this is the way we can handle
Multiple errors.
multiple error handlers by using different on error propagate scope. Okay. But you can see what is my intention is here. We need to map it, right? So here what is my intention is you can see generally we can write like this one. So we need to give the status. So it is a expression related errors na. So then we need to give the 450 something, 452 something. So this is the status code. I want to give it. What is the error code here I am giving?
452.
452 and the message is this one. Okay, for this database related. So this is the file related one, right? So here also I'm adding the some status code. So what you are seeing is this, we can call it as a customizing the status codes. So this is the file related one, then we can give the 451 something depending on that one. So it's a database related one, then we can give the, so whatever the others are there, then we can give the status code is the 457 something. Okay, so let's try this one. First we are going to see whether those status codes are coming or not. Then we can, here we can, now I'm hitting it. So which status code I am getting?
457.
But you can closely observe it. Here what status code you are getting?
500.
Then why they are both are not same?
So 457 is a
457
customized one.
something.
So this status code is by default returned by your component. So whatever the component you are using, you can see this is also returning some data. So some status code it is returning. So if any particular component is filed, then it is automatically returning some status codes. Okay. Now you can closely observe for the HTTP. We will show you HTTP status. I think for the listeners they are coming. So what is my requirement is, you can see now you can observe it. I want to map whatever the status code here is coming. I want to map this. I want to return the same status code here. You guys got it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how we can able to change this one? So here you need to remember one important thing. What is the source of entire flow?
Listener.
HTTP listener, right? Then click on HTTP listener. For this one, there is a response tab is there. Click on response tab. By default, you can see there is error response is there. You can see there are two words you can able to see. What is this one?
Status code.
Status code.
Reason phrase.
So for example, when someone asks this question, so even though my, what is the one, even though my flow got failed and everything is got failed, but I want to return only the success one. For the all the scenarios, all failuring scenarios or success scenarios, I want to display only the status code 200. Now you can see if the status code na, then we can simply give the 200. Let's see what happens. Okay, first I am mapping with the hard coded one. Now you can see it. Hitting the same example I am hitting. You can see what the status code I am getting.
200.
But it is got failure one, right? So that means when we hard coded this value inside of this HTTP listener response tab, always it is returning the
200.
200. But here, what is your requirement? Here you need to map the whatever the status is coming from your error handler. So how we can map that value here means first we need to create a variable here. Okay, so how we can create a variable inside of the transform message?
Plus
So
sign.
there is a plus symbol is there, add new target, click on add new, which one we need to create? Variable. So always remember, generally we need to pass this one only. So we can create a variable name with the status code, STA2US status, and we can use this code. One second. Okay, so the status code here, you can see here we need to give the value directly. You can give the value here. So what is the value for this one? We are using the 457. Okay, that means the next one. Okay, let's save the program.
It is
So where this 457 is available?
Inside that variable.
Inside of a variable. What is this variable name?
Status code.
Status
So
code.
this value should be populate here. This is very simple. How we can access the value inside of a variable?
Where's
So
Where's
then go to here, go to the responses. Here we can delete this one and go to click on enable this one. Then we can do the where's dot
Status code.
status code. If there is no status code is there, then it is the failure one, right? Then always you can return 500. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So if you are not returning any status code there, then it is automatically set the failure one, that is the 500. Okay, so first we can execute this one. Let's check this one whether it is coming or not. It is deployed, then we can hit it. You can see whatever the error you are passing here, the same error it's coming, right?
Yes.
Now the second requirement, you can see by default it is showing the only server error. But here I want to display some message, the database error, file read error, something I want to display here. So how we can able to customize this error message? So again, you can go to your HTTP listener, go there, and you can see what the second variable.
Reason
reason
phrase.
phrase.
So
Phrase.
here whatever the hard coded value is there, it is coming. Here also we need to create the one variable. For example, let us assume we are already creating one variable that is with the name of reason, reason message or reason phrase, whatever you need it. Okay. Otherwise, reason text. So it's up to you, whatever the message you want. Okay. So default, you can go with what is this one? System error.
Server error.
Yes. Okay. So what is the one variable name? So where we need to create this variable, go to the transformation message, click on place, go to variable. Here we need to create a variable name, then click on OK. Here we need to provide that value. So what is that one?
DB.
So it's a database error or otherwise error and something for customizing. Okay, we can save it. Now we try to execute it. Now go here and you can hit it. Now you can see whatever the status code you are getting, that is coming here and that's server. Okay. Yeah. You guys
Yes.
got it? So this is the one of the interview question, how we can customize the error messages and error status code means. So we need to create a two variables inside of your HTTP listener for the reason code, status code and reason phrase. Those we need to create the inside of your on error propagate. Okay. For example, here you can see what we do. Let's see. Now you can, so I'm renaming this one. Technically, I'm creating the error inside of a file component. Okay. Now let's check this one. You can see still I'm getting 500 and server error only. It is not coming 451. Why?
Because that particular
This one we
propagate we
not
haven't
customized.
specified.
Because we are not created any variables for inside of this one. Okay, just remember this is the on error propagate scope for the error handling. Again, here we need to create the one more variable. So that is variable here. What is this one?
Status code.
Status code.
See,
And here we are giving the value as a 451. And there is one more thing is there. What is that one?
reason.
Variable. I think reason text. Here I am giving the, what is this one? This is the file error, right? Then we can give like this one. File error. Okay, I think. Now we go and hit it. Now you can see 451 and file error. Got it, guys? So this is the way we can able to customize the error codes. Whatever the errors we need to send it in those situations, we can able to send the errors like this one. Okay.
Yes.
So this is the one of the interview question. In the real time also, again, we need to map your particular error types, particular error codes depending on your project, right? So in those situations, this is the way we can able to return those errors. Always remember it. Okay. Any notes, guys? This is the one just important one. Handling the multiple errors and writing the custom errors. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the one, just remember it. Okay. I think we are covered most of the errors.
Error propagate.
And there is one more thing is there. For example, you can see so far what you done. So far you are not created any errors. You are simply using the already existing errors, right? For example, let us take a simple scenario. So you will try to withdraw the amount from your ATM, your account. So there is a limit is there, minimum balance. Okay. So if you try to withdraw the amount of minimum balance, you are not able to process the remaining thing. That is your requirement. So how we can solve this problem? At least first you can understand, right? Oh, 1 second. I can write it on the screen. Okay. So there is a account is there. From this account, you want to withdraw the some amount. This is your first one. For this one, you are creating the one API. Okay. So what is your first requirement? First, we need to check the minimum account. So if the minimum account is less than whatever the amount you are withdrawn, for example, so there is a inside of your account, there is a 1,000 rupees is there. Okay. You want to withdraw the amount of 500, but it is a minimum balance. Okay. Now, what is your requirement? So this operation, you want to allow it or you want to stop the process?
Stop.
So then how we can able to solve this one? If the whatever the amount I am entering it, if the amount is less than whatever the available amount inside of the bank, then we are unable to process the remaining thing. So how we can able to create the flow like this one? Tell me. This is your HTTP. Then, so what is this one? So we can read the data. So inside of the transformation message, you are checking the condition, right? So this is the data. Okay. So we are putting choice router. So what is the choice router can do? Data, that means the amount, data dot amount. Okay. So if the data dot amount is less than the minimum balance, then what you need to do? You are not going to process. So here what we need to do, here we need to raise an error. So what is the usage of, otherwise you can see, we can go with a simple example otherwise. So there is a use case of the casting of the vote. So what is our requirement? If the age is less than 18, then we know we are not going to process any voting process. Okay. If the age is greater than 80, then we can able to continue the flow execution. Okay, that is your requirement. Now you guys tell me how we are going to do this one. First, we can read the age that is available here. Then which component we need to place here to check the ages. So this is the choice router I am placing. Then age is greater than 18. Then, so this is our first condition. Then we can able to perform some operation, right? If the age is less than 18, then what is your need?
Stop.
So you want to stop the program execution. You don't want to, you can see. So you want to stop the execution and you want to display the some error message, not a success one. You want to display the
Error message.
failure one, right? Now my question is how we can stop the program execution, how we can show the failure status. Okay, by using the if condition, you can check this one. If this condition is true, then we can follow this one, right? First, we will go with the normal one. Then you can understand what is the need of raising an errors. Okay, let me close this one. And I'm creating the new project. Okay. So what is this one? Rise error example. Then come here, HTTP listener. I'm stopping the existing project. Here, plus symbol. I think we need to add the API/v1. Click on OK. Comes here. Then here we can give the name test. Okay. So as usually, I'm placing the logger. So I'm sending my age from my Postman body section. So here what we need to do, we need to use that, otherwise whatever that okay, it is coming from the payload, no need to do so. Then we can use the choice router. We can place the choice router here. So if I'm using the first condition, what is the first condition? Payload dot age is greater than 18. Then what is your requirement? You need to print some message.
Welcome to
JSON. And first I am printing the age. Whatever the age is there, I am printing the same age and I am printing the some message. What is the message? Eligible to cast a vote. Eligible to cast the vote. Okay, this is the one. For example, this got failed. Then what is your intention? So you need to display this some message like this one, right? That is the normal one. Message not eligible to vote. So this is the normal one. Generally, we are trying to execute like this one, right? Let's me execute this one. Now you can understand what is the problem inside of this flow. Now it is deployed. Come here and you can set it. Oh, wow. We need to pass some value here, right?
Will be post call, right?
No. We are not setting any, right? 25.
Get will be.
Yeah, get one. So by default, it is along all the methods. You can see age is 25, eligible to cast. What is the status I am getting?
200. Okay.
Right, now you can go for the normal one, that's 17. Then you can send it. What is the message I am getting?
Not eligible.
Not eligible, and but you can observe it. What is this one?
200.
But what is your requirement? So what is your requirement? So what is your requirement? If the age is less than 18, we want to stop the execution and we need to send.
Failure status.
But is it possible by using the normal choice router, we can able to send that failure?
No.
No, then how we can do that one means we need to raise an error. What happens any error rises inside of a flow? Automatically the program execution stops and it is returns the
Failure.
right. Now that's it. So we need to raise the error here. Then you can see. So
Raise
I'm
the-
raising an error here. What kind of error we need to raise it? So this is the custom error, right? Depending on your interest, you are raising an error. If any component is not returning any, not raising any error. So this the rise error always the intention is the rise whenever we want to create an error explicitly. Then which component we need to use it?
Raise.
Rise error. For the any error, there are two things you need to create it. We need to provide it. First one is the what is the type of error and what is its description, right? So what kind of error it is? Generally, this we can call it as a custom errors. Okay. So generally, we need to provide everything inside of the caps letters. So it is my custom error. The namespace is the custom, and what kind of error it is, you need to provide the error. So it is related to age. Then we can give the invalid age, right? So what is the namespace of this error?
Custom.
Custom. What type of error it is?
Invalid.
Because you are creating this error. So whenever this error is coming, what the description you need to define here? So age is a
Below.
second. So this is the error description. Age is
Below.
not a valid. Okay. So this is the message it is going to create it. So obviously it is raising an error, right? So here we need to use any error propagate scheme on error propagate. Remaining everything is common. Okay. So we need to write this one common and copy this error. Why? Because you can see I'm using the on error propagate. That particular error only we need to handle it. Let's go and search it. That custom error is displaying here.
No.
No. So in the situation we need to copy that custom error and you can place this one. Okay. Then it is automatically map that error only. Here we need to write whatever the message you want. So here, what is the message you want to JSON? And you can give the status. So what is the status? We can give 455 something depending on your requirement. Here we need to define the message. So age
Is below 18.
should be
Greater than
18. Okay. So this is the one, right? So is that's it? Is there anything we need to do it?
We have to set variables.
Right? Where we need to?
Payload.
Yes.
So the
That symbol.
variable, what is this one?
Where
Status code.
status code
Status code.
455.
The next one is
Request test.
reason text
Reason
or
test.
reason phrase. It's up to you. Okay. So here we need to give the message like this one.
Invalid age.
It is always good to give the date in the form of caps. Okay. We can save it. That's it. Is there anything we need to change it?
We have to map it to source.
Go to the source. Go to
Setting.
the responses. Here by default it is coming as error.description. Here we need to convert them as a payload. And status code, it is coming of your variables.
Where
Dot, what is this one?
Status code.
Status code and reason phrase. Dot
Reason text.
text. Okay. So we need to give
Default.
500 and default. What is the one? Server error. Okay. I think it is in the form of string. Let's save and try to execute. Oh, it is already executing mode. Yeah. Now we will hit this one. Now you can do the same thing without changing it. You can see status is 455 and what is the status I am getting? 455 and now there is no further execution. So whenever we need to raise an error explicitly, then we need to use which component?
Raise error.
Raise error. What is the need of raising an error?
Stop execution.
So we need to stop your program execution whenever you want. Then in those situations, we need to raise an error. That is the one. Okay. By using which component we are going to raise an error?
Raise
Raise error. Now you can see what are the components we are so far discussed. Just now we are seeing the raise error, on error continue or on error propagate basic definitions we are seeing. And tomorrow we are going to see it, the most important one, that is process level error handler. That what we could call it as a, what is this one?
Try.
Try. So tomorrow we will see most of the scenario based questions. Okay. So by using the try block, we can able to handle the process level. Inside of that one, we are going to use the on error continue. That is the first scenario. Second one, is there any subflows are there? Then how errors are propagated. Those two things are we are going to discuss tomorrow. Okay. So today's class, everyone understand? So here today's class, most important one is how we can map the custom error status codes here. So second one is how we are going to raise an error whenever we want it. Got it, guys?
Yes.
So for this one, just practice it. Okay. Then only you can remember all the things. Okay. I think tomorrow and day after tomorrow also we can spend time on error handling only. Okay. Yeah. That's all for today's, guys. Okay. Yeah. 25 classes done. Okay. Yeah. No problem. We are in the right track. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So yeah. Okay, guys.
Till how many classes would take?